So in this segment, we're going to be talking about an article from David Campbell Bannerman saying only Liz Truss can save Brexit now. Oh boy, this one's a doozy. This one's an absolute doozy, people. So he talks about Sunak's appalling brutal behaviour towards Boris Johnson and his, quote, left-wing tax policies. I mean, they're not very left-wing, are they? Mean that many MPs on the right of the Conservative Party will do almost anything to stop him getting to number 10. I mean, that's not really true, is it? Considering, like, he's the favourite. He's the one that most MPs are voting for. Why is that if the Conservatives are so against his left-wing tax policies? Ridiculous. Reports suggest that Penny Mordaunt is emerging fast as the main challenger. I mean, she's second effectively. But this should be deeply concerning for those supporting Brexit and freedom of speech. Oh. Why is that? Because she was a Brexiteer from the start. At first sight, it's easy to see Penny Mordaunt's appeal. She's presentable. I think he means she's attractive. I don't know. Strong on defence, has held a number of ministerial appointments. But just because you've held a number of ministerial appointments doesn't mean you were good as a minister. Like, the idea that in politics, that just because you have experience in something doesn't mean you were good in that role. You know, we've seen that with so many different politicians. He'll mention Liz Truss kind of in the same thing here. And actually campaigned for Brexit in the referendum. So again, she should be a no-brainer to be second on the ticket minimum. He says, as a senior Brexiteer and someone who gave up my MEP job for that cause, I mean, great, you made yourself temporarily unemployed. Now you write shill articles. Saying he simply cannot support her. Says, indeed, I feel she's a direct threat to a real Brexit. What is a real Brexit? I don't get these people. What is a real Brexit? All this stuff, Brexit in name only. You voted to leave the EU. Here we are. We've left the EU. Come on, man. Mordaunt denies being woke, but her record confirms she is. He's talking about trans issues there. He talks about Mordaunt's book, Greater Britain After the Storm. I've not read it, so I'll take this man's words for it. Saying it isn't the work of a true Brexiteer defending British sovereignty. What is this? Defending British sovereignty. What if Britain wants to be woke? It's in Britain's sovereign right to be woke. Because it promotes a woke agenda beloved by the EU. So he's gone, oh yeah, the EU, they're like woke. This book pushes woke stuff, therefore she's not a true Brexiteer. I mean, come on, dude. Let's be honest here. These people have no bandwidth for anything. He goes, the tome, which is the book, is endorsed by big EU Remainer, names from Tony Blair to Richard Branson. I didn't know Richard Branson was a Remainer. I didn't hear much from him. And Tobias Ellwood. And the forward is written by Bill Gates, so the globalists, effectively. That's what he's hinting at here, because you've got Bill Gates here. And Tony Blair. So who cares? Okay, Tony Blair, a guy who supports the EU. He supports it. Tobias Ellwood. Doesn't really mean she's not Brexiteer, is it? They could have supported it for other reasons. Come on, man. The book uses the dreaded phrase white privilege. White privilege exists. Sorry to break it to you, pal. He goes and suggests Mordaunt dislikes TV shows like Dad's Army for being overly nostalgic. I mean, I've never watched the show, but I'll take her word for it. Probably is. He goes, the death of comedy is the hallmark of woke authoritarianism. Like, let's be honest here, most stand-up comedians suck. Comedy has been dead for a while. Let's be honest here. It's not because of woke authoritarianism, it's because you guys generally aren't funny because you punch down all the time. Lord Frost even questions her basic competence. I mean, Lord Frost, the man who said that the withdrawal agreement was phenomenal and that the TCA was beautiful and the Northern Ireland Protocol would be great. That guy? We're going to listen to that guy? Really? Saying she had to be moved as his deputy in the Brexit negotiations after 6 months as she couldn't master the detail and frequently disappeared. I mean, where was she going? Surely you should have monitored her movements better. And then he goes, Prime Ministers need to master detail rapidly on a host of policy areas. Boris Johnson didn't. And Lord Frost says he's a great Prime Minister. Ridiculous. The reality is Mordaunt is more Liberal Democrat than Conservative. I don't think that's the case at all. It's because she's more of a Cameron-era Tory, not a Lib Dem. Come on, mate. The only credible opponent to beat frontrunner Rishi Sunak is Liz Truss. Liz Truss, who blinked constantly like an owl or like someone with dust in her eyes. She has the necessary high-level cabinet experience. Like, she hasn't achieved anything in cabinet. Apart from getting back Nazanin Ratcliffe-Zahawi, which the Tory party really failed on, and even then she had some scathing words for, I think, even Liz Truss. That's the only achievement she has as as foreign minister. Like, genuinely, what has she achieved in that role? Apart from really, being nice to the EU and then just triggering them. Toughness, I mean, she's not that tough. She has become a keen Brexiteer, as evidenced from her support from Rees-Mogg, Mark Francois and Ian Duncan-Smith. These are two of the three biggest idiots in the Tory party, let's be honest here. Mark Francois and Ian Duncan-Smith. They're not very bright. Let's be fair here. she's the heavyweight Brexit team leader. I mean, no, she's not. She knows nothing about detail. She got absolutely slammed by Lavrov when when Lavrov mentioned certain Russian towns and said, "Do you doubt Russia's sovereignty over these places?" And she said, "Yes." And he goes, "These places are in Russia." And she looked like a right idiot because she had no idea what he was talking about, and she tried to look tough. Truss has the conviction of a convert and has been at the best at delivering Brexit opportunities. I mean, no, she hasn't. She hasn't delivered anything yet. She has a whole host of valuable trade deals. They add 0.02% to our GDP at best, minus 0.02 at worst, and they decimate the agriculture industry and the processed food industry. Yeah, that's the person you want leading Britain, right? He goes, the EU has failed to deliver on. I mean, the EU just got a trade deal with New Zealand, which is better than ours. She has come out fighting on the protocol bill too. I mean, this is all she has to show her Brexit credentials. She will cut taxes. Okay, great. Which ones? Remove unnecessary red tape. I mean, Brexit has added unnecessary red tape. Let's be honest here. Create Thatcher-like enterprise zones, which apparently lower tax and lower regulation areas. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Lead on world affairs. Like what? Which world affairs? We're already kind of floundering on our net zero targets. Deliver more Brexit opportunities as Prime Minister. That's not going to happen because there aren't many. I love the aspiration nation concept. Yeah, you're a Tory. Tories don't believe in aspiration. They don't believe in social mobility. Let's be honest here. When you look at the last 12 years of stagnant growth, stagnant wages, a housing market that's constantly being inflated because there aren't enough sustainable housing in this country. We're not an aspiring nation anymore. We're a nation of you stay in your place, know your role. Because that was the point of Brexit. No, it wasn't. I thought the point of Brexit was to be sovereign, to be a world leader again. Yet we're an aspiring nation now. Those are two different things. He goes, we really can't afford to take risks when we are choosing an immediate head of government. I mean, you took risks for Boris Johnson. He was no master of detail. The guy loved messing around all the time, and he did. He loved taking money from donors, and he did. It's genuinely ridiculous. I mean, this article is just the biggest load of nonsense ever. And maybe he's writing this because he hopes to get interviews with Liz Truss if she wins the leadership race, but she's in trouble. She's not doing great. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Support the channel on Patreon if you can. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one.